Shadows of Blackpine, a scary forest story, set in the U.S. Opening scene, wide shot, dark forest, faint wind, moonlight flickers through trees. Most people think forests are peaceful places, full of trees, birds, life. But some woods are different. There's a forest in Northern California, deep in the Sierra Nevada range, known locally as Blackpine Hollow. No trail maps show it, no cell signal reaches it. That's where 28-year-old travel vlogger Ethan Walker disappeared, and when he returned, he wasn't quite the same. Chapter 1: The Disappearance. Ethan had planned a solo weekend in the mountains. He was an experienced hiker, known for his YouTube channel full of calm, nature-based videos. His last post, uploaded from a trailhead, began with, "Camping in Blackpine Hollow tonight. Locals say it's haunted. Let's find out." He never posted again. 3 days later, his car was found on the roadside. His backpack was discovered neatly placed under a tree. Inside, his camera. The last 40 seconds of footage were strange. No sound, and what seemed like a child's laugh behind the trees. Chapter 2: The Legend of Blackpine. Locals in a nearby mountain town, Tucker's Ridge, avoid the forest at all costs. An old logger named Carl told rescuers that people have gone missing there for generations. Back in '62, a whole family vanished. Before that, native tribes warned, "The woods wear your face." The forest is always dark, always damp. No birds, no crickets, just wind, or something like it, always whispering. Chapter 3: The Rescue Mission. A week into the search, a trained rescue team entered Blackpine. Only some came back. One man, Jason Burke, was found on the side of Highway 49, barefoot and shaking. In the hospital, he muttered, "It speaks in your voice. It looks like you. Don't trust the eyes." He never explained what he saw. He hasn't spoken since. Chapter 4: The Return. 10 days after Ethan's disappearance, he came back, alone. He walked into a gas station 20 miles from Blackpine, covered in scratches, mumbling about losing the trail. But his parents said something was wrong. He didn't eat his favorite food, slept standing near windows. At night, he whispered in a strange dialect. One neighbor said he saw Ethan staring into the woods for hours without blinking. Then one day, he vanished again. This time, completely. Chapter 5: The Footage. Paranormal investigators later analyzed Ethan's final camera footage. One frame, at timestamp 12:14, shows a shadow behind him. Tall, human-shaped. The face is barely visible, but it's his face, except the eyes are completely black and the mouth is too wide. Chapter 6: Closing the Case. The case was quietly closed. Blackpine Hollow was removed from most public trail maps. Locals hung a new sign at the trailhead. "Turn back. What lives here wears your skin." In the forest, 10 days of survival. The true story of Lucas McClish. Chapter 1: A Simple Hike. Lucas McClish, 34, headed out for a short solo hike in California's Santa Cruz Mountains. He knew the terrain until he didn't. Wildfires years earlier had transformed the landscape. Trails vanished. Landmarks were gone. Lucas took a wrong turn. Chapter 2: Into the unknown. Hours passed. Then darkness. He had no food, no pack, just a knife, a lighter, and a dying phone. He spent the night beneath trees, still hoping it was just a minor detour. Chapter 3: Survival begins by day. To it was clear he was lost. He headed south thinking he'd hit a road. Instead, he faced ravines, fallen trees, steep drops. He marked paths with stones and sticks. Food? Only berries. Water? Filtered through his shirt or collected in his boot. Chapter 4: Fear and Isolation. At night, strange sounds haunted him. Howling, rustling. He kept a fire going as long as he could. Sleep came in a short, cold bursts. The forest felt endless. Chapter 5. Search efforts begin. Family and friends sounded the alarm. Search teams combed the woods. Helicopters flew overhead. But the forest was thick. Lucas, growing weaker, screamed into the void each day. Help! Chapter 6. On the brink. By day 7, hunger blurred his vision. He hurt his knee crawling downhill. Alone in a shallow cave, he clung to thoughts of loved ones. He refused to give up. Chapter 7. The moment of rescue. On day 10, he heard voices. Real voices. Rescue teams had finally found him. Dirty, exhausted, bleeding, but alive. He had lost 13 kilograms, but never his will to survive. Chapter 8. Aftermath. Lucas recovered and began sharing his story, urging hikers never to underestimate nature. Bring water, a GPS, food, and always tell someone where you're going. Chapter 9. Lessons learned. His ordeal reminds us, the wild doesn't forgive mistakes, but it rewards those who stay calm, think clearly, and never stop fighting. Silence of the White Forest. Setting: Oregon, USA. Winter: a snow-covered national reserve. Genre: psychological horror, based on fictional but plausible events. Main characters: Joel, 31, hunter. Allison, 28, his sister. A ranger named Grayson. Introduction. Shot: drone flying over an endless snow-covered forest, eerie music. Somewhere in Oregon, hidden among snowy hills and ridges, lies the White Forest. That's what the locals call it. It's not marked on maps. The old folks say, don't go there with an empty mind, because the White Forest absorbs silence and gives it back as something you're not. Starting point. In December 2022, Joel, a former soldier and hunter, went into the mountains for game. His sister Allison knew he liked to be alone during hard times. He'd recently gone through a divorce, but after 5 days without contact, she went looking for him. At the parking area, she found his truck covered in frost. Inside were a warm blanket, a thermos, and a journal. The last entry: White Forest. Beautiful, quiet, not even birds. Very strange. Meeting the ranger. Allison met a local ranger, Grayson. The old man said, he went in there, into the White Forest? Then it's too late. He told her that every winter, 1 or 2 people go missing in that area. They're never found, not even bodies. The silence there, it's alive. It drains your thoughts. Then, it takes you. Allison didn't believe him, but insisted on searching. Grayson refused to go. He gave her a radio, compass, and flashlight. Tracks and whispers. The snow covered nearly everything, but Allison found tracks. The path led deeper into the woods. The weather worsened. Heavy snow. Around her, not a sound. No wind, no creaking branches, only her breath, only her footsteps. After a few hours, she heard something. A whisper. Allie, son. She turned. No one. But the voice sounded like her brother's. Joel's camp. She found where he had camped. An empty tent, his backpack, a pot still warm. He'd been there recently, and a recorder, one recording. Joel's quiet voice. I've started hearing things. Someone calling my name. Sometimes I answer, but it's not my voice. In this forest, you start to doubt yourself. You lose yourself. In the background, a low hum, like breathing. Then, a woman's voice. Come home, Joel. Only, it was Allison's voice. The forest awakens. Allison stayed overnight, but sleep never came. Around the tent, footsteps, breathing. Her flashlight began to flicker. In the snow, footprints. Human, but not just one set, several, barefoot. She grabbed the radio and shouted, Grayson! I'm not alone. No reply, only static. Suddenly, Joel's voice, very close. Allison, I'm here. She stepped outside. He stood before her, barefoot, no jacket, eyes glassy, and he spoke without moving his mouth. You came. Now you hear them. Now you're part of it too. Escape. Allison ran. The forest began to shift. Trees seemed to move. She lost her bearings. The voices grew louder. Something touched her shoulder, but no one was there. She fell, hit her head. She woke up by a fire. Grayson had pulled her out. You went too deep. They almost had you. He said nothing more. Finale. 6 months passed. Allison returned to the city, but the silence didn't leave. Some nights she wakes up and hears someone whisper in the dark, Allison, we're not done. The silent path. They say deep in the forests of Washington state, somewhere near the Olympic National Park, there's an old, nearly forgotten trail not marked on any map. Locals call it the silent path, not because it's quiet, but because those who walk it go deaf forever. And that's just the beginning. It started in the summer of 2017. 4 college students from Portland, Oregon, Emily, her boyfriend Jake, their friend Samantha, and Samantha's boyfriend Tyler, decided to go backpacking. They read about a mysterious shaman trail hidden in the Olympic forest on a fringe travel blog. Supposedly, if you followed old hunter markings deep enough, you'd find the trail. Of course, that sounded like the perfect adventure. If we find it, we'll have the wildest story to tell, Tyler grinned, adjusting his backpack. So they went. The first 2 days were uneventful. Just scenic beauty. Towering pine trees, moss-covered rocks, cool air, and birdsong. They navigated with a paper map and compass, purposefully avoiding GPS to make it feel like a real wilderness experience. On the 3rd day, the weirdness began. First, they found old birch trees marked with deep, deliberate cuts, like someone had carved a path decades ago. These are definitely trail marks, Tyler said confidently. Let's follow them. Maybe it's the shaman trail. They turned off the main route. Within hours, the forest changed. It got darker. Not just from shade. It felt like the sky itself was fading. The trees leaned in closer. The underbrush turned blackish green, sickly. Then Samantha said, "Do you guys hear that? Or not hear that?" Everything had gone silent. No birds, no wind, just their footsteps. Then Emily stopped. "Do you hear it?" she asked. "Hear what?" Jake replied. "Exactly. Nothing. I can't hear anything. I think I've gone deaf." Everyone went quiet. Tyler snapped his fingers next to her ear. Nothing. Emily panicked, tears welling up in her eyes. While they tried to calm her down, Jake realized something terrifying. The forest around them had subtly changed. Trees closer together, trail narrower, sky almost gone. "We have to go back now," he said. But there was no back. The path behind them was gone. No markings, no split. Just an endless wall of trees. Then Tyler went deaf. Just gone. Like someone had flipped a switch. He didn't panic though. He stood still, smiling, but not a real smile. More like a puppet's, pulled by strings. Without a word, he turned and walked off into the woods. "Tyler!" Samantha shouted. He didn't answer. They ran after him, but he vanished between the trees. No tracks, no sound, no breath. Just silence. By morning, only 3 of them remained. Emily, completely deaf, couldn't stop crying. Samantha was shaken, barely holding it together. Jake started seeing things. Shadows between trees that didn't belong. Faces watching, fading when he blinked. He felt like he was losing his mind. Then they saw it. A cabin. Old, rotten. Its roof sagged, windows cracked, but one window had a light. "Let's go. We need help," Jake said. They approached. The door creaked open on its own. Inside, dust, cobwebs, a broken table, shelves, and a mirror on the far wall. Emily walked up to the mirror and screamed. In the reflection, it was her, but Jake and Samantha weren't beside her. Instead, two tall figures with hollow eyes and slit mouths stood next to her, grinning. Then the mirror cracked. They slept in the cabin. They had no choice. The forest outside was too dark to see, too quiet. At midnight, Jake woke up. Someone, or something, was staring into his face. He thought it was Samantha, but it wasn't. The thing had bark-like skin. Its eyes were empty holes. It didn't move right, like it had no joints. Jake screamed. The thing vanished. When he woke the others, they hadn't seen it, but he knew what he saw. By dawn, Samantha was gone. Her jacket lay folded at the doorway. Bare footprints, long and deep, trailed into the forest. From far off, Jake thought he heard a sound, like a hum deep in the ground, calling. Now it was just Jake and Emily. She was barely moving, bleeding from her ears, lips blue. Jake carried her. He made a choice. Even if they died, he would walk south. Stick to the compass. Get out. He walked, for days. Barely ate, barely slept. Emily stopped responding, but he kept going. And on the third day, he stumbled onto a dirt road. A car passed. He flagged it down. Jake survived. Emily didn't. He told his story. No one believed him. A year later, Jake was found dead in his apartment. No cause of death, no signs of struggle. But on the walls, strange symbols carved with a knife. And in his ears, tightly inserted, rolls of birch bark, as if someone tried to seal the sound inside. The map they used burned in a mysterious apartment fire a week later. No one knows where the silent path really is, but park rangers sometimes find things. A backpack, a boot, torn fabric, and sometimes old birch markings appear on trees. They cut them down, but the next day, they come back. And if you stand in that part of the forest long enough, you'll hear it, or worse, you won't.